The start of the season, the first event here at AA Kyalami, is that three previous champions are all in action in this one race. Irshad Jaffa from 1999, the 2000 champion Gugu Zulu, and the reigning champion Chad Francis will be pitting their skills against each other. 13 cars on the grid. And another interesting fact is that the two brothers, Riyad Jaffa and Irshad Jaffa, are on the front row. Then 1 second between the next 4 cars, led by Devon Munsami. That is certainly one of his best performances to date.
You've got your brother, former champion Irshad, right next to you on the front row. How are you going to play that one into the first corner?
Basically, that was strategy from yesterday. He's got to keep the faster guys like Chad behind, and my job is to get away.
So that's the plan, Irshad?
Yes, that's the plan. Huh? I'm actually quite surprised that I qualified second because I had some problems with the car in unofficial practice on Thursday. They gave me a new car on Friday and it was smoking during the morning, so I only ran a lap, so I'm happy qualifying second on Friday.
Good to get back in the car where you started, really?
Yes, it's fantastic. I was looking forward to it and finally it's come through again.
Okay, now you've got the former champions, yourself, Chad and Gugu, all in this race. You're going to play each other off?
Well, there's nothing to lose. Just go there for the fun and we'll see what happens.
But starting right at the back of the field for this race, 2000 champion Gugu Zulu.
Not a good start for your final race.
Not a very good start, and indeed, we've got the champion of champions race. That's what we call in it, with Irshad being around and also Chad. And unfortunately, those guys are all up in the front, so now I have to play catch up, so we'll see how we progress.
We'll certainly see how he progresses. The lights go green and they're off, and a good start there from Riyad Jaffa. He's on the right-hand side of your screen, and red and white car, and he's got Devon Munsami. He's trying to put his nose in between the two Jaffa brothers, and he has indeed succeeded to do so. So has Simon Mosley, who's also got ahead of Irshad Jaffa. He's in the second red and white car. And then in the number 1 car, it is Chad Francis, the reigning champion from 2001. Top 5 cars already breaking away. So a bad start there from Irshad Jaffa, and that is not according to the plan that the two brothers have explained to us right before the start of the race. Chad Francis looking at the back of Irshad Jaffa's car. In the meantime, Riyad Jaffa has been able to break away from Devon Munsami, and I must say a very impressive performance so far this weekend from Devon Munsami. He's been one of the midfield runners in this category in the last few years as they go into the Ford S's for the first time. And a good opening already for race leader Riyad Jaffa. He's in the red and white number 2 car, chased there by Devon Munsami in the 082 car. And then number 4, Simon Mosley in that yellow car. He started from 5th position, so a great start for him, being pressurized by Irshad Jaffa. He's number 15, there he goes, and behind him, number 1, Chad Francis. So the top 5 cars breaking away, 3 of them almost abreast as they start going down the Caltex mine shaft and into the Haviland sweep. So Riyad Jaffa has been able to break away from Devon Munsami because the 3 cars behind him are keeping each other extremely busy. Down the inside comes Chad Francis, and he's taking contact there between him and Munsami. There's going to be big problems here, and crashed into the spun car. Louis Kupai's car's damaged. Chad Francis pulls off the track, and I have an idea that that's the end. What a tragedy for the reigning champion. Chad Francis only lasts 1/2 of the first lap, and he's out of the race. Lap 3 out of 8, and the race order as it stands at the moment, it's Riyad Jaffa from his brother Irshad Jaffa. Keep an eye out for Gugu Zulu in the number 3 car. There he goes through your screen now. Started in 13th position and already up into 5th. He's being chased by Sipiwe Manglele, then that man Kern Francis in the number 7 car, Mona Apollos in 8th place. But a fine drive so far from the 2000 champion Gugu Zulu. He's been able to make his way through the field, showing his class. Mona Apollos from Cape Town also maintaining that 8th position. But at the front of the field, the top 4 has been able to open up a significant gap over the following pack. Riyad and Irshad Jaffa, then Devon Munsami and Simon Mosley. And there's about a 6-second gap between Simon Mosley in 4th and Gugu Zulu in 5th. That is Sipiwe Manglele. Then Kern Francis, and Morne Apollos is starting to drop back and coming under pressure. Lap 6 out of 8 now, the midfield battle. Morne Apollos in car number 10 being chased by Morne Idas, and he's just been taken by Zakele Zunele in the number 6 car, that yellow and blue car. A great move down the inside at the Dog Super Bowl, and he's got the line for the Yokohama King, so he moves up further ahead of them. Kern Francis And he is losing out, in fact, as he's being chased by Sipiwe Mangele. So as we've become used to the racing in the Vodacom Osondo Sports 2000 series over the years, great battles going on right throughout the field as they cross the line to complete yet another lap. Lap 8 out of 8. This is the final lap, and this is the battle for fourth position between Simon Mosley and Gugu Zulu, who goes around the outside to try and get the slingshot effect out of Goodyear Corner. There are the first three cars ahead of them, and Zulu's got the inside line for the first of the Ford S's, but Simon Mosley closes the door. A good move there by Simon, who shows that he's not going to give up easily to the former champion. But Gugu Zulu has driven brilliantly by going right through the field and catching up to this group, the leading group. Simon Mosley, oh, his left is braking very late, and he goes off. That is what pressure does to you. Gugu Zulu says thank you very much, and Simon Mosley goes wide in Westbank Corner on the final lap, and I'm sure that he will probably feel very, very angry with himself. But it is still Riyad Jaffa from Irshad Jaffa, and barring anything going wrong with the two Jaffa brothers, that is the order in which they will finish. In third place still Devon Munsami and Gugu Zulu. Oh, he's lost it. Gugu Zulu, who has benefited from a similar mistake by Simon Mosley at the top of the track. But fortunately for him, he doesn't lose any position. A lot of time though, and he will remain where he is. Final corner, Vodacom corner, and here's going to be Riyad Jaffa, who takes it from his older brother Irshad. Across the line they come, and a good performance there, and a good tactical performance also by the two brothers. Third, Devon Munsami, a good performance, so he's looking good for the rest of the season. And Gugu Zulu coming through in fourth position ahead of Simon Mosley. Zakele Zunele, sixth, ahead of Mona Idas and Mona Apollos, with Hamilton Bekane and Kern Francis completing the top 10.
So Riyad, what was better, winning the race or beating your brother nicely?
Well, winning the race, I think, is more important, because beating my brother, that we can always work out.
A nice start to the season, though.
Yeah, the only problem is now I'm not sure whether I'm going to be driving the whole season. But if I'm going to be driving this year, then yes, it's excellent stuff.
Just after the start of the second race on the day, Riyad and Irshad Jaffa leading the field, but look at that. Gugu Zulu has already made up one position, and so has Simon Mosley. A bad start from Devon Munsami, who was in third place on the grid, and he drops down to fifth position. So it is Riyad from Irshad Jaffa, Gugu Zulu in third, and he's certainly going to try and get to the front as soon as possible. Two former champions pitched against each other. On the inside comes number 7, that's Kern Francis. And he's being followed by Chad Francis, his cousin, who of course had to start right from the back because of that first race, first lap incident, which cost him any hope of starting high up the order. So we'll keep an eye out on Chad Francis as well, as Gugu Zulu tries the move down the inside of Irshad Jaffa at the top at Westbank Corner, but he doesn't succeed. So those are the two champions pitched against each other, and what Irshad is going to do in this race is exactly what he did in the last race, and that is to try and keep the rest of the field away from his younger brother Riyad rather. In the meantime, Devon Munsami is putting some pressure on Simon Mosley in fourth position, as Gugu Zulu has a look around the outside at the Dog Super Bowl of Irshad Jaffa, and Irshad just looks in his mirrors and he sees that white car, the number 3 car, looming large into Yokohama King for the first time. This is turning out to be a great start to this race as they complete lap 1, and it is Riyad Jaffa from Irshad, his older brother, then Gugu Zulu, then Simon Mosley in fourth. Devon Munsami is chasing hard in fifth. Zakele Zunele and Kern Francis are fighting it out for sixth position. Lap 3 out of 8, and Gugu Zulu is going for that second position. Irshad Jaffa tries the defensive line, but he leaves the door wide open. So Gugu Zulu moves past and into second place. Now his eyes will be firmly focused on race leader Riyad Jaffa, and Riyad would not be happy about the fact that his older brother has just given away that position so easily. So race order, Riyad Jaffa from Gugu Zulu and Irshad Jaffa. Simon Mosley and Devon Munsami has resolved their battle, with Devon moving up into fourth ahead of Simon Mosley. Zakele Zunele and Kern Francis still fighting it out for sixth place. Now, will Gugu Zulu be able to break away from Irshad Jaffa? It doesn't seem so at this point, as Irshad Jaffa fights back, and this will slow them down and will allow Riyad to pull away somewhat and get a bit of a breathing space. Gugu Zulu on the defensive as Irshad Jaffa takes the wide line to try and get the slingshot effect out of the Dog Super Bowl. This is lap 5. Only 3 more to go, and here's the reigning champion, Chad Francis, who's moved through the field from right to the back of the grid, and he's moved into 5th place past Zakele Zunele. That's Louis Coupai, and behind him, number 7, is Kern Francis. Louis Coupai has also had a good drive as he had to start from the back of the field. So Chad Francis just gone past Zakele Zunele, but here's the battle for the lead. And it's been going for the last few laps as Riyad Jaffa is on the defensive. He's been chopping and changing lines, and Gugu Zulu will not be happy with that. Oh, and he's moving over. He is pushing Gugu Zulu towards the line, and the white and black flag is out for Riyad Jaffa. That means it's a warning for unsportsmanlike behavior, and I must say he has really been changing lines. Oh, and in Nashua corner, both the brothers are off, both Irshad and Riyad Jaffa. Now, where is Gugu Zulu? There must have been some incident between the 3 of them who were battling for the lead. This is the battle for second place as Devon Munsami moves past the number 2 car of Riyad Jaffa. He's got Simon Mosley right there behind him as well. And Riyad will kick himself as we move to the final stages of the race. Gugu Zulu has a comfortable lead over Riyad Jaffa. Simon Mosley in third. Oh, and he locks up his brakes. Sounds as if that throttle is stuck wide open. That allows Chad Francis to move into 3rd place. This is the final corner of the race. It's Gugu Zulu from Riyad Jaffa, who's not going to be able to close in on him. In 3rd place, a brilliant drive, taking advantage of some mistakes and misfortunes. Ahead of him, though, Chad Francis will cross the line, and there is absolutely nothing between Zulu and Jaffa at the end of the 8 laps. Race order at the checkered flag. Gugu Zulu from Riyad Jaffa, Chad Francis, then Devon Munsami, who dropped to 4th place. Zakele Zunele, a good 5th place ahead of Louis Coupai, who also had to fight his way up from the back of the grid. Kern Francis ends up in 7th ahead of Morne Apollos. There's your race winner, the 2000 champion, out-driving the reigning champion, Chad Francis.
Had a little bit of a fuel problem there?
Definitely on the last lap, no fuel.
Bad timing, bad timing.
Bad timing on that, but otherwise it was a very good race. You know, we called it the Champions of Champions for Sports 2000, so we really had a good time.
Is it going to be your last endeavours in Sports 2000?
That was my last race ever for Sports 2000.
Well, that's